Alright legends, today we're diving into Ghost of Yotei, which is basically Ghost of Tsushima, but if it was colder, angrier, and featured me making terrible life decisions. The landscapes here are insane. Snowy peaks, forests that look like they belong on a postcard, and sunsets that make me want to stop stabbing people for like 5 seconds just to admire them, but I mean almost. The game opens with trauma, because apparently fun is illegal in Samurai Land. You start as Atsu, daughter of a swordsmith, just chilling in your home, when surprise, the Yotei 6 crashed the party. And by crash the party, I mean they murdered everyone and left me with more emotional baggage than a Jetstar passenger allowance. So the game wastes no time. Straight away, I'm swinging my sword at waves of goons. It's meant to feel desperate and cinematic, but really, I'm just button mashing like I'm trying to land a laser flip in Skate. Goons keep piling in, I'm blocking, dodging, and praying I don't accidentally press photo mode mid-fight. Then the snake shows up, one of the Yotei 6. His whole vibe is, I ruin families for fun, which is great character development if you're a Disney villain, but kinda sucks when you're trying to have a normal Tuesday. The duel is epic, blades clashing, snow falling, music swelling. It feels like a life or death samurai showdown. Except, supposedly I've been training my whole life for this, even though I've been in control for like 2 seconds. Eventually, by sheer skill, I land the killing blow, and it's dramatic. He falls, the camera lingers, and for the first time in years, Atsu gets a taste of vengeance. And me, I'm sitting here like, wow, I really just beat one of the Yotei 6 in like 3 minutes, when Atsu has been waiting her whole life. But here's the kicker. This isn't a boss fight win. This is the birth of a legend. The villagers, the survivors, the enemies, they don't see Atsu as the mercenary anymore. They start whispering, they start calling me the ghost.
She died.
Which sounds kind of badass, until you realize being a ghost basically means everyone's gonna want to murder you more than they already did. Thanks Ghost of Yotei, love that for me. So yeah, that's the intro. Massacre flashbacks, mowing down goons like I'm cosplaying Dynasty Warriors, killing Snake Boy in a very cinematic way, who by the way, isn't actually a snake. Mind-blowing stuff. And coming out the other side, not as a survivor, but as the Ghost of Yotei. And now the whole island either fears me, hates me, or both. Honestly, just like my old high school group chat. Anyway, the game doesn't let you dwell too long, as you're thrown into the wandering life as a mercenary. And now you've returned to Ezo to settle the score. So off I trotted. I roll up to Atsu's old family home, and wow, nothing screams welcome back like childhood trauma wrapped in a cute little ginkgo tree. The place is abandoned, but you can still see the forge, the shamisen, and all other details of life that actually mattered before it got Thanos snapped. The game wants me to feel nostalgic and emotional, and I do, but my monkey brain's also like, can I loot anything? Can I climb this roof? Or can I punch the floorboards for fun? Spoiler, no. It's just me walking through empty rooms, remembering when my life didn't suck. Outside, the ginkgo tree's still standing, sprouting new leaves, like it's flexing on the Yotei 6. It's the game's way of saying, hey, your family's gone, but revenge is forever. And honestly, that's the kind of life lesson I can get behind. So I make like a tree and leave, up the mountain to learn the dual sword technique, which for some reason involves putting up with hot coals being thrown at you while you slice bamboo. Weird training plan. I'm half expecting a certificate that reads, congratulations, you are now unnecessarily uncomfortable. But it unlocks me wielding 2 swords at once. So, kaboom. Double the blades, double the stupidity, while I'm sweating. The game is all serene mountains, blowing wind, dramatic soundtrack, and I'm thinking about how I once couldn't even pick the right cereal. This training is part of the broader story. Atsu's been honing her abilities for years before returning home. It's her path of vengeance, her rebirth as something more than just a mercenary. But I mostly cared for the bamboo cutting, hot coals, and making sure I didn't set the trainer's eyebrows on fire, as he has already lost an arm, which I am sure makes his life hard enough. Then, of course, my monkey brain kicked in. there's this massive mountain in the game world. No side quest marker, no you must climb this, just hey, you should climb this because you can. So I did, and let me tell you, nothing screams video game achievement like scaling a graphic mountain and then getting nothing but the view and a sense of regret. There was no loot, there was no cutscene, just me, the wind, and a gnawing realization that I'm wasting time. But that's fine, because wandering, exploring, and climbing silly peaks is part of the open world package. In Ghost of Yotei, you're free to roam, take on side quests, and pick your fights. And I did just that. Back down, I picked my horse. Big moment. The game frames it like I'm forging a bond, picking destiny, choosing the steed that'll honorably carry me into battle. But realistically, I selected the one whose mane looked best. I figured, if I'm gonna kill 5 guys and scar the soul of the island, I might as well look good while doing it. So, sorry other horses, you can reapply next time a lone samurai who's considered the ghost of the people of Ezo and has an incredibly dark past with 6 individual people who make up a gang called the Yotei 6 as they currently have reign over the whole island to much of the citizens' disgust. Truly, your odds are quite high. The horse becomes your companion for many of the wanderings, because yes, in between the vengeance arcs, there's an actual world to ride through, which I'll add is incredibly beautiful. Wandering around, I come across a tree covered in pieces of paper. A duel challenge. They say, we want to duel the man who's never lost a duel. And guess what? Apparently that's me, which is precarious because, well, realistically, everyone who is living is technically undefeated in a fight to the death. But I step up anyway. And in true ham slice fashion, I beat him. The game hands me a charm or technique for being the guy who showed up and be like, yeah, I'll fight you, instead of picking wild flowers. Then I go do the same at other trees. Because these duels are part of the sequence, you defeat each Ronin at a tree, get their reward, eventually, I come up to the tree, the one where the undefeated fighter awaits. There's no crowd cheering, no announcer, just that tree, the wind in the leaves, and a sword duel. I win his technique, but the guy survives. He walks away, because obviously a game can't let you ruin all legends in one go. He's going back to train, and I'm sat there thinking, great, we now have a cinematic rematch. The dude's undefeated no more, but alive enough to show up next time with more moves, more glare, and me with less sleep. Now, let's talk about the hot springs, because this game does not miss a spa day opportunity. At one point I strip off, jump into a steamy pool of nature, and the game says reflect. And I do. I think about all the terrible decisions I've made, like buying copious amounts of Hawk crypto coin at the wrong time, or playing Fortnite on build mode. But here I am, a wandering samurai mercenary hero. The hot spring is supposed to be zen, peaceful, and introspective. For me it was, why did I pick 2 swords instead of 1? Was dual wielding a hubris move? Possibly, but it works. The world of Ghost of Yotei gives you those moments of calm between the slashing kill sequences, and it's nice. And by nice, I mean slightly terrifying, because I'm naked in nature and still got a bounty on my head. Speaking of bounties, the game gives you these side jobs. People go, hey, we'll pay you if you kill this guy, and I go, sure. Hold my sake. I knock off a couple, one small-time thug, one slightly bigger threat. Each time, I feel a little more morally ambiguous. I mean, samurai code, honor, or freelance killing. I choose the latter because it funds my habit of climbing unnecessary peaks. These side quests are part of what the game offers outside the main story, and I just like boss fights. But then the tables turn. Shortly after these bounties, I start finding wanted posters with my face on them. Which is rude. I took one bath, chopped bamboo, climbed a mountain for no reason, and now I'm apparently the most wanted woman in Ezo? Maybe beefing with the Yotei 6 comes with some PR risks. I'm just trying to walk through forests here. The narrative builds as Atsu gets stronger, helps locals, and kills the big bad forces of the Saito clan, led by the evil Lord Saito and his henchmen, the Yotei 6. As they start focusing on her, they declare her as an enemy of the island, which means literally everyone wants her head. So yes, wanted posters, and I'm the villain. The negative irony, revenge hero becomes outlaw. Perfect. So there I am, wandering around, vendetta on my mind, swords at the ready, and suddenly I'm told, hey, pick up this 3-stringed thing that your mum left you and strum it like you mean
I'll
it.
try to capture that.
Enter the shamisen. Yep, Atsu doesn't just chop and stab, she also plays a musical instrument to find some hidden stuff. It's weird and beautiful, and exactly what I signed up for. You sit down somewhere scenic, you swipe left on the touchpad, and play a tune. And then the game basically goes, nice job, now follow this gusty wind and you'll find, well, stuff. Like hot springs, vanity gear, ancient relics. You're doing slashes 1 second, and the next second you're a samurai troubadour. There are 8 shamisen songs in total. Each unlocks a new ability. The Song of Well-Being helps you find hot springs. The Song of Vanity leads you to gear that you didn't know you needed. So yeah, I'm training with swords, and then I'm plucking strings in front of a mountain view. And for one brief second, I feel cultured. Then I remember I still have a mountain to climb and a clan to murder. But hey, I've got music now, so that counts for something. Let's pause for a second, so I can pretend I know what's going on in the big story. The Yotei 6 are the snake, the oni, the kitsune, the spider, the dragon, plus Lord Saito himself. It's her vengeance lists. Atsu's aim, take them out one by one. So I am hunting them. I've already killed the snake, but got wounded, naturally. Now I'm moving on to the others, but that will be later down the road. So subscribe now before the Shogun himself issues a bounty, because next time I'll probably end up fighting a warlord, a demon, or knowing my luck, tripping over bamboo and dying in the least cinematic way possible.